Kaboom!
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the AIB Show. This is our first live broadcast, coming to you live on June 24th at 12:51 p. in the Eastern Time Zone.
P?
Yeah. That's why I have the P. The M is just extra. You don't need the M. Right? And then, so we're live on the YouTubes, and nobody's watching, which is awesome. But yeah. So let's get after it, Dom. What you got to talk about?
Man, I don't know. A lot of stuff out there. A lot of foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Shamakri. I don't know. What do you want to discuss?
All right. Well, let's try not to yell because your mic is garbage from where you're at. We're gonna fix that in the future, guys. Just don't talk too loud, Dominic, because it's picking up a bunch of garbage. But neither here nor there. So, we're in Miami. For those of you, obviously, you guys know that. For the two of you that listen, and there was a literal building collapse on the beach, and I got a fair amount of outreach this morning. Respect for those who did reach out in regards to my safety. I do not live on the beach, but I appreciate the outlook. I appreciate the outreach, and sadly, it's just they're still doing some recovery or whatever to kind of see what's going on. Yeah, rescue. So it's just garbage, but yeah.
Yeah, literally the building collapsed. I mean,
it looked like something out of the movies, dude.
Yeah,
straight out of the movies. It was really crazy. But luckily, I mean, as of now, there's only one person who has been, and only is a very loose term. So apologies for making that sound flippant. But yeah. So either way, that is an unfortunate situation that's going on here in the Miami area. But let's move on to other topics that are equally lighthearted.
Topic for those of you that missed it. We were interviewed by another show.
Yeah, that's good. That's right.
At Smash Speaks on Instagram, SMASH Speaks. We had a great time on her show. It's her latest episode, so go check that out. A lot of our usual stuff, serious topics, a ton of laughs, clowning each other. It was a blast.
What is going on in your household?
Dogs.
Dags?
Best movie ever, Snatch. Yeah, all right, so what are we doing?
Okay, so here is the situation. Okay, so here's a couple things randomly, right? So this is Pride Month for those of you who don't know. And we are from Jamaica, for those of you who do know. And this is one of the points of, not contention, but this is one of the things that's sad that we haven't gone any further. And this is one of the reasons why religion is constantly something I rail against a strong word, but that I generally don't subscribe to, right? Because as a thing that's supposed to be inclusive and all loving, they find a way to not be inclusive. And so being that this Pride Month, religion, Christianity, whatever, like all the religions that fall under that spectrum, are none too tolerant of homosexuality, and over time have become less tolerant, actually, right? There's been no movement in that direction. It's pretty garbage. And so with that, Jamaica having as many churches as it does lends to a lot of the beliefs and negative against homosexuality. So it's sad for me as a Jamaican, when I have many a gay friend who, express the desire to come to Jamaica, and I'm always reluctant to support their decision to come visit Jamaica, which I love. It's a really garbage situation. And it's 2021, and yet it's still this annoying situation. Don't get me wrong. When I was a kid, as ignorant as I was, I participated in enjoying music surrounding the negativity towards homosexuality. So I'm not.
I was ignorant. There's a lot of things when I was younger I'm kind of ashamed of. That being probably top 3, if not top 1.
Right.
Would be that as well. Just being ingrained with those asinine ideologies, if you will, like you mentioned, so many churches, more churches per capita, and believing and espousing these sickening, disgusting beliefs, and of course, even the jokes and stuff. But listen, like you said, it's just, I don't know, it's sad. I think personally though, Jamaica's actually gotten a little better, but that doesn't mean it's good. Meaning, if you're already way down, just because you got better isn't something to celebrate about.
Correct.
Right? Because we can now walk around in Jamaica and actually see somebody and know as gay without thinking, okay, the guy's about to get chopped up or his ass.
And that's not even hyperbole. Chopped up is a literal situation, which is that's what's crazy.
In Vybz Kartel had a music video that was done for the song "Beautiful Girl," and in it, this is what he's locked up in prison now, so he wasn't responsible for the video, but they filmed the underworld, if you will, of the gays who live in the gays. It sounds like, yeah. Of the gay people who live in the gullies, which are, I would just start good, like the sewer system, right, in Kingston. That's where they live because that's their community and safety net, in essence. And it was also a Vice documentary also about that, for fear of, the ramifications of their life, quote unquote, lifestyle choices, which clearly is not a choice. Also, you'll be very ashamed of this. Started watching Manifest on Netflix.
Oh, why, man? You and Gopal are doing the same thing.
Oh, he's watching it?
Yeah, it's a garbage show that did. And first of all, people keep saying it's on Netflix. It was on NBC. Nobody watched it there.
No, I didn't say it's a Netflix show, jackass. I said
you said it was on. No, I know, but people keep doing this, and they go, "Oh, look, Startup on Netflix." I'm like, guys, this was out like 8 years ago. It's so gone. Yeah. And I told you about it one time ago too.
Manifest because my daughter started watching it. No, she started watching it. So I was like, oh, it's a show we can watch together. So then I get caught up. I watched like 6 episodes. She goes, oh yeah, this show is really boring. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Yes.
But my problem with TV, what happens? Once I'm in, I'm in. It's like I don't know. I'm in. I gotta keep going. It's like my bedroom motto.
Wow. Wow.
Kaboom!
Wow.
So now I'm on season 2.
Wow.
They have every fake Jamaican actor on there. It's the worst. Like, just hire one. It's so bad. But part of the storyline was they had to smuggle someone gay out of Jamaica, and they were talking about, do you know what it's like being gay in Jamaica? They talked. The whole storyline was about it. And
I'm curious to know who the writers are and why, because I think the show takes place. One more time.
So they knew the truth about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, there's got to be like a Jamaican writer on the show because there's to get that even involved.
Jamaican writer would hire these people as actors and allow it. No.
When I say a Jamaican, I mean somebody who's got some extended family in Jamaica, like many Jamaican in this country, right? With somebody's aunt or uncle lives there from back in the day, and they like jerk chicken, and so that's the game. But the fact that they called it out is actually pretty. I mean, it's good because that's one thing that bothers me constantly. And again, love Jamaica and the whole nine. That's something that bothers me because it's just ignorance. And that's why it bothers me more than anything else. The ignorance is just it's ripe. It's so palatable that it's
ingrained in society and culture that it's coming up from when you're a kid. That's the problem why we accepted it, because we didn't know any better, and so we had the cognitive ability to think for ourselves and realize, hey, this is wrong.
But but that's us. But there's also a majority that don't subscribe to that because they're too indoctrinated in whatever religion, they subscribe to. And, again, part of my situation there too. And on the religious aspect too, the reason I went this route is because, I don't know if you saw the Catholic Church, and I don't know if it's the entire church or just a segment of the church, so apologies. I was reading this and then I got sidetracked.
I saw your notes. I think it's the U.S. Catholic Church.
In regards to Biden. And they don't want to offer Biden communion because of his stance on abortion rights, in the sense, and I don't even think he's outwardly pro-life, but he's just not for the aggressive conservative mentality of it's not even an option kind of situation, right? So he's riding this dotted line, but either way, the church is coming out saying they don't want him to be offered communion because of his stance on this particular subject matter, which is annoying and foolish. One, because personally, I could give a crap if the ones with all the pedophiles have been coming forever, are the ones that I need to endorse, his morality. He can go to hell if that place exists. But my point, I'm like, now you guys are the moral police. Now, mind you, if you kill somebody, you can get forgiven, right, and get communion the whole nine. But by the way, if this is the situation, not so much. Get out of here.
I didn't think about that one.
So that's why, and again,
by that logic, couldn't you have an abortion and then seek?
No, the child can be born, then you can kill the child. Then it's okay.
Got it.
Then we're good. And if you kill the child with a gun, you're good too, because then you use gun control. That's awesome. You can do all this stuff. But if you do it as a preventative measure because you may have been raped, no, hold up, draw the line, no communion for you. But again, if you want to go rape children, that's okay too. Get out of here with your morality, Catholic Church of any country. It's just such BS. And so that's what bothered me. And then took me down the path of the Jamaican church situation and the homosexuality, whatever. And now we're back here, and we can move on to lighter topics. But those are the things that really bothered me. I wanted to make those statements. So I will move off of that subject and go on to, I'm sure Dominic has some lighthearted banter that he'd like to get into. And for those of you who know Dominic, that's impossible. So go ahead. What you got, Doc?
I just want to talk real quickly. We discussed this on IGTV. So
why don't you come closer to the mic versus leaning back?
Too loud, bro.
No, there's echoes. Sorry, guys. Peoples.
The sound is almost perfect. I know these last few weeks we've been experimenting. I think in another week or two it'll actually be perfect. Every Friday around noon, we go live on Instagram for about 5 minutes. It's Instagram exclusive. We're actually going to eventually put it on YouTube, but it's not on your podcast platform, wherever you listen to. So make sure you check us out on Instagram. We'll start putting on Facebook as well. So a few Fridays ago, we discussed the NFL and their a lawsuit for many players sued the NFL for injuries suffered, brain injuries. And the NFL actually has had a policy of what's called race norming. So essentially, they said they denied the lawsuits by many Black players because they said they have a lower basis to start off of measuring. So what they do is they measure the brain functions of a player after their career and say, you know what? A standard human would be X, and now you're below X. Therefore, it's logical the NFL caused this. But for Black players, they said, well, Black people are already lower, and you're low now, so probably didn't do anything. It's because you're Black. I mean, what the frig? Yo, I mean, all I can do is laugh. I don't know. So a little bit of old news, but wanted to bring that to people's attention who were unaware of that. So the NFL said, you know what, guys, we're going to stop doing that. You think? And only
but
stop.
But
only
this is
they got caught.
That's my point. This is that selective morality business, right? It's like, oh, hey, by the way, we're gonna, you caught me. That's just wrong. We had a whole investigation. Like, you don't need an investigation. If you've been doing it, stop doing it, and you should have been doing it in the first place. And it's 2020. Even whenever this has been going on for a long time. So you're trying to tell me at no point through this practice, people got wise and like, hold up, man, you can't be doing this. Like, nobody. And even if so, that just proves that if that's the case and somebody did voice it and nothing happened, then it's fair to say that the NFL is, in fact, that's the basis of the situation. So it falls into the same college football situation of, we'll make money off the backs of these people. And I'm saying these people meaning any NFL, but primarily in this conversation, Black people. We're not going to pay out when things go wrong. We'll change the measurements. Just like we're not going to, with everything we've talked about forever in regards to getting real estate, to doing X, Y, and Z, it's all in the same vein, right? It's the starting point. If we don't agree on the starting point, then how do we move forward with anything? And generally speaking, people don't want to review or analyze their starting point for any thought process, right?
And speaking of which, you mentioned the college athletes and how the system, takes advantage of them. I'm loving, I don't know if we talked about this offline, the high school aspect, high school basketball. So as you know, become a kind of nerdy.
You're a weird suburban dad who goes to high school games.
High school basketball is
yeah.
Yes. And not just go, like follow things online and accounts and research and news and rumors. So I'm in the know. Got some people, this stems from my son's interest. He's much younger, but he's a hooper. And
is that the term? Is that the term, hooper?
I don't know, it sounded really weird. He's a baller.
Baller I know about. Yeah.
There are a couple of those recent South Florida kids, 2 of them with Jamaican heritage, in fact. When I first saw them play 2 years ago, I looked on them, literally looked on them, turned to my wife and said, they're Jamaican. Because they had that black, but with like the coolest skin hue, like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You're a little darker than you, but yeah.
Yeah, that, darker than me, but like with some wavy hair and like a cooler hue to it, a shine up skin.
Yeah.
So I was like, 100% Jamaican. Found out, yes, family's Jamaican. So they're high school kids still, about to be seniors, and they decided to play professionally. There's a league called Overtime, which Bezos is invested in. Some other huge names have put tens of millions into this thing. And what it's doing is taking high school kids, moving them to Atlanta to finish their high school education and play professional basketball in this league. They get paid good money. These kids these twins are getting paid over $100,000 each for 1 year. And if they don't make it playing real professional, like NBA or in Europe basketball, the league will give them $100,000 for towards their college education, because they're losing their college eligibility by doing this. They can't play college basketball. Then there are other twins from South Florida as well that moved to Orlando that are going to be juniors. They're done with high school basketball. They got paid over $1 million each to play for 2 years, their junior and senior years of high school, same league, moved to Atlanta, played. I mean, think about this. If you're a high school kid with talent, how do you not take this opportunity and say, F the system? F you college basketball, secure the bag, get a ton of cash, and have money put aside in case you want to go to college. I love that it's going to shake up the college system completely. Plus, you've got G League basketball has their own league coming out. You've got other players like Lonzo, LaMelo Ball, who said, forget high school, dropped out of high school, went to play in, I think, New Zealand and played.
But then how many leagues are there? Because you've got the G League, you've got the D League, you've got college.
There's no more D League. The D League became G League because of Gatorade.
Are you serious? That's what it was?
Yeah, there's no more D League. It's just G League.
I'm like, all right, man. How much are these things? Okay, all right.
When Powerade coming going to the P League, I don't know. So it's G League, but then there's G League. It's called I don't remember. It's G League hyphen something else. That's the one for the high school kids. So there's 2 really high school leagues.
That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. I think getting away from the college thing is dope.
Is giving money towards college. If they choose to go to college, they have the money.
But that's an investment in them and their future and the whole nine. That's smart. That's actually a really good thing to do. Versus
imagine being 16, 17 years old and making 6 to 7 figures at that age, getting professional training for the job you hope to have one day. And if you don't make it, you have $100K to go towards college. I mean,
no, it's true.
Brain.
It's crazy. Imagine sitting closer to your mic too and you talk. It's crazy. No, but to your point, I'm not knocking that. It's one of these things where in any profession, if you have the ability to learn from or to be shadowed by and taught by some of the best in your profession, why would you not? You know what I'm saying? And there's no risk, because the risk is just delaying college for a few years, which isn't a risk at all because it ain't going nowhere, right? And you come back, people go to the military, come back, go to college, do whatever else. It's the same game, except there's no chance of dying.
Plus,
which is a really good thing.
Manage the money properly to have that kind of money at that age.
And then, bro,
you don't need to be spending it. Imagine you can invest it. You could invest. Imagine investing at 18 years old. You have 6 figures, 7 figures at that age. I mean, that's setting you up for life if you've done it properly, literally.
bro, I had negative that at that. You know what I'm saying? Like that with student loans and whatever else, you're literally coming out ahead of the game, which is hugely smart. And then you go to whatever college you want at that point, right? And use your money wisely. And hopefully, you made some interest off it. There's just it's value.
I wish I knew I can't remember the name of the football player. I think he went to Rutgers, and smart. He got his stipend. He was on the football team, moved out of the dorm, so he got a rent stipend, but decided to have a lease agreement with his mom. So went to move home, but had a lease agreement with his mom that he had to pay his mom, which was legal. And his mom legally can give her son any amount of money she wants. So let's say the rent stipend was $1,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He'd pay her, she would give it from the school, she would give it right back to him. He started saving that up, bought a little townhouse or a duplex, bought that, flipped that, and while in the NFL, he created a nice little NFL empire, real estate empire while in the NFL. It was brilliant. And he had started that before he even made NFL money.
It's not Ray Rice, right?
By gaming the system.
This is not Ray Rice, right?
No, that's not Ray Rice.
Well, I'm just only Rutgers player that comes to my mind. But that's actually really effing smart. That's actually really smart, right?
I wish I had thought of these things. Like
haven't people done that with like student loans as well? Because student loans, they just give you the money and at a low interest rate, you can kind of do what you need to do with it.
I mean, if used right, if you don't need the money and you get the student loans at the right, at that low interest rate, you could better your returns, pay that off. It's like which is a cheap loan. So I'm sure
there's some. I mean, again, these are things that in hindsight, I wish, man, wish I'd have been smarter on a lot of things. So we'll see how that plays out. Couple other random things that are there. One is Rudy Giuliani apparently has had his law license suspended by the state of New York for spreading lies. But again, these lies that were spread by Rudy in regards to the election, but the same lies that were spread by Rudy Giuliani that's costing his law license are the same lies that are driving the states to make changes in their voting right platforms, et cetera, et cetera. So it's one of these things. And by the way, the same incorrect voting that went on within these states, and incorrect voting is a loose term, that was then driving these things, is the same voting that put a lot of Republican senators in place. But those votes were correct, just so you know. But the votes for president were incorrect, just so you know, because that's how this game works, apparently. Because that's how you really rig the election, is you go, let me get a bunch of Republican senators and then let me do this for the government, and then we work. But the common sense is so lost that it bothers me. And when you're punishing this on this side, but yet not literally punishing the states and punishing in whatever way, but not condemning, not going after these situations, which are driven by the same lies, it doesn't make any damn sense. Like, it's just the ignorance level, the selective accountability, or whatever term you want to use, is just foolish, man, beyond foolish. So, well, I guess I had two rants today that were just annoying to me, but that was the other one that really bothered me in that situation. On a side note, you gonna go watch Dom and Fast Furious 12 this weekend?
Is it on HBO Max? Maybe.
No, it's a Universal product. It's in the theaters. It's in the cinema. Boy, you're not a cinema going guy anymore?
I should have been more in the past. I used to enjoy going by myself.
No, I still go by myself and I enjoy it.
The problem was I was always fearful of, back when I used to care about things like that, I was fearful of someone to see me. On a Friday night, I could just stroll up in there. Yo, who you hearing? Oh, yeah. My boy.
What about you?
I'm on a date. She's,
What about your popularity? That's what it is. Guy, our combined popularity has brought us 0 viewers on YouTube right now. I'm going to live and say nobody gives a crap about us going to theaters by ourselves. But either way, Fast 9's out there, which is actually probably one of the most diverse casts out there to bring in a good amount of money, right? Even though Vin Diesel is not what everybody thinks he's not mixed, but still not the point.
I thought he claimed he was.
He claimed because he wasn't. It was a whole thing, and I think he's just a white dude.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm saying I think so. I hope that I'm not disparaging Vin Diesel in the situation, but it's irrelevant. The rest of the cast is also very, very diverse, so it works out in this dynamic regardless. It's just interesting to me that this is that like nobody's claimed cultural appropriation or whatever in regards to that particular product, and it's been fairly representative and does huge dollars. So it's very interesting to me in that situation. And cultural appropriation is another topic we'll have for another day, because that's going to be really long, because that one bothers me because of its misuse and how it's just kind of taken off its own.
Quick. Let's finish real quick. Michael B. Jordan. Let's do something relevant. Michael B. Jordan.
Relevant? What? Everything we did was relevant.
I mean, for this week, literally. You did Rudy. Michael B. Jordan came out with a rum called Juve, which he got blasted by the people from various islands. You know, Juve has origins, heavily Trinidad and Tobago. You ever met anybody from Tobago, by the way?
Nope.
No, right?
Nope. No.
What if there actually is a place actually named Tobago?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's a little beach. I have no idea. It's like St. Thomas and St. John. And people from St. Thomas, ain't nobody. St. John, I go to for the afternoon. I come back, and for all it
has its roots from long ago. It's actually a French and Creole term, but it has reached other islands like Jamaica and stuff in carnival time, things of that nature. He came out with a rum, got blasted for cultural appropriation because he trademarked the name, which one typically does for a brand, which they're doing. And unbeknownst to many people was that one of his partners, who actually my brother-in-law, it's his friend, is Trini. All right. So people came out blasting him, and he unfortunately buckled to the pressure, and they're changing the name of the brand.
It's stupid.
Nicki Minaj came out blasting him, and now this
really?
is a whole
that's my morality, Nicki Minaj.
Oh, but she has Trini roots. So Black Twitter tore her up, and it was great because they came after her saying this is the person who's besmirched Rosa Parks, who's degraded Malcolm X, who is not someone we should espouse to be like, and like a good, role model.
Yeah.
Yes, for the kids. And so Black Twitter went off on her it was amazing. It's actually amazing. So yeah, it's just interesting stuff. And we had this discussion because my son got his hair braided this week, and Amit saw it. And we're joking. He's like, so he puts in a chat, cultural appropriation. I said, funny enough, I was actually having this discussion because my son is a lot different skin color than me. If we're not together, everyone says we look exactly like. I don't see it, but if we're not walking beside each other, if he just passes us completely white. So it becomes an interesting topic. If I braid my hair, it's not considered cultural appropriation. But if he does, would it be? But then if we're together, knowing he's my son, then it's like, okay, that's fine. It's a weird component.
It's that. And his son goes to school, and the question was, all right, if his son went to school, and let's say the school was majority white, would it be cultural appropriation? If the school is mixed, meaning there's a fair amount of Black individuals or non-white individuals, would it then be cultural appropriation, right? And my assumption is, and this is total conjecture and assumption here, is that if it was a mixed race school, you'd probably have somebody calling a foul, and 9 out of 10 times that person would be white, by the way, but neither here nor there. But calling a foul, because it would seem out of place. But if it was all white people and he looks a little different, he could you'd be like, oh, but he's Black, because the whole point of this conference, this show is people assume Dominic's Black, so the same dynamic would apply to his son, because he's not white, right? Which is that scenario. But it's just gone too far, dude. So if I'm creating a brand of rum, right? what countries espouse or what's I'm looking for?
Islands.
One more time.
The islands do.
Yeah,
Puerto
that's my
Rico,
point.
Jamaica.
If I'm going, hey, who makes good rum? The Caribbean. So why the F would I name my why would I not name my rum brand based on something that's there? And if
I think that the problem though is because Juve also has its origin. We know it now as like, oh, it's carnival time, it's party, it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it has the historical context of how it came about. And I actually get this. It's trademarking that. I get why that bothers me.
But it's trademarking for this purpose. It's not trademarking. It's big in trademark.
Yeah,
Don't
but
you select
it's
the purpose
trademarking for the purpose of
for the use case.
For him to make money off of something that has a significant. It's a horrible analogy, but let's say I took something that had to do with like the Holocaust or something.
I call it no. Whoa. But
No. It's a horrible analogy. But taking something that has
use the Statue of Liberty. Go ahead. You trademark something with the Statue of Liberty on it.
No, it's not. It's not like Statue of Liberty.
Okay, you trademarked the Fourth of July.
This had to do from slavery days. Its origin is slavery days, which is how Carnival came about. And when they're going from the different plantations and burning at night, it was a noise. That's how Carnival became so loud and boisterous. That's kind of the thing where they announce themselves. So it has some historical context. Again, whether it be for fake purposes or not, I think the smart play would be to have a Trinity partner, which evidently he did. And whether that would not fake for what's the word I'm looking for?
For just to appease the society, the social norms.
Whether they felt they really should have one to incorporate, or it's just to look good. So they passed that test. I think maybe they should have. I think they pushed too much on the Michael B side, right?
Why would you not? He's the fame.
I know. Think long term, not short term. Marathon, not a sprint. A group, a partnership. Michael B. Jordan, and 1, 2, 3 Trinities,
Okay,
right?
so
then you would have wiped it all out. There would have been no problem.
Yeah, but then what if I go to the line and say, all right, well, Jay-Z's got a champagne brand, Diddy's got a vodka brand. So now people in Germany /Russia / wherever one creates, Poland, should be vexed.
No,
Diddy has got.
They didn't call it's not that it's
called champagne.
They didn't say it's made in Trinidad. It's a rum.
Which is even more the situation, more the reason why calling it a name.
Taking the name. So what you're saying doesn't correlate the Diddy and all that stuff. They're not taking that. No, but you have to understand the flip side.
So,
why it's like BET, and why is there a BET? The flip side is you're talking about Europe. Europe has appropriated humans and cultures.
Yeah,
forever.
somebody
to flip it back. This is internally black on black. This is different, right? But
so Tito's rum, Tito's vodka. Sorry, and I don't know the history of Tito's vodka, by the way, but it's made in Texas. But I don't know if the people who created it are in fact white. Tito is not an Anglo name, so I don't know if there is a Hispanic or whatever in that scenario. So does this fall back on Tito now too? You feel me? Like I think we're just going down a path here that, and again, there's cultural appropriation, which we know is wrong. Then there is, I don't see how throwing your name behind a rum without the claims of anything else. But and again, maybe I'm being ignorant. Somebody can enlighten me over time. I just don't see the, I don't see the ignorance
Tito,
there. What?
Ready for Tito?
What's up?
Bert's Butler Beverage. The dude's last name is Beverage. The dude's last name is Beverage.
So then, hold on,
let me tell you.
That's amazing. That's amazing about it. I mean, this guy had one job. He could only do one thing.
Bert Butler Beverage II.
Amazing name. He
was given the nickname Bertito by his Latin caregivers when he was a child. Hence Tito.
Okay. So now I ask you, how does that work then?
No, but that's his nickname. He's not claiming.
Given to him. He's claiming. He didn't. But he didn't say.
It's not like what's her face.
Who this?
It's not Kendall Jenner. He's not trying to incorporate. He's just like this. This is vodka made in Texas. My name's Tito. I've been called Tito since I was a kid by everybody. It's not like Kendall Jenner trying to look Mexican.
No, that's different. That's different. That's what I'm saying.
Like she's never dressed in her life. Right?
Agreed.
So
that's different.
That's why that white individual, Kendall, that's like cultural versus this. I'm assuming Burt Butler Beveridge, the second or whatever, is white as well. That's why that's not any appropriate, because he's not appropriate in anything. It's just he's going by the nickname that was given to him.
All right. What about the many tourists who go to Jamaica and get their hair braided? How does that play out?
It's an interesting one because that's a pass. We need the money, right?
I mean, a black person doing it to a white person who's coming down the island. How does that play out? Is that cultural appropriation, or is that like eating a croissant in Paris, going, they do this really well here. I'm going to enjoy the croissants here.
Thing is make tourists happy and make some money for the people. Yeah, I think that's.
So morality be damned.
But remember, we talked about this on another episode. It's not necessarily the action; it's the reaction to the action. So, Kim Kardashian had her hair braided. Got no problem with that. But the magazines all came out and said she's created a new fad. It's called boxer braids. It's called this. The media, so the issue wasn't at Kim, who just happened to wear her hair. It was the press and all the ignorance around not understanding.
Okay, so I'm with you there. I would just say the press at that point, you guys are idiots, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
you guys can't assume that's there.
This is amazing, as if you don't see it every friggin' day walking down the street with darker pigmented people, right? It's not like Kim was a pioneer and created something new. So that's.
I mean, she made the big booty famous, apparently, right? Apparently nobody had that before either, and the braids. And a bunch of other stuff as well. But yeah, I'm with you. That's just ludicrous.
Yeah.
To bring it back to Fast and Furious. But no, it's yeah. So either way, cultural appropriation / misappropriation is, I just don't know the various scenarios here. Some things make sense, some things just seem ridiculously foolish. But I will
remember this a couple years ago. Jeremy Lin, he's an NBA, or was an NBA player for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Chinese heritage.
On that note, real quick, you realize how many times they had to say that he went to Harvard too, right? Because he was Asian American. Just throwing that out there too, which is always a thing. His name was synonymous with Harvard. Are you looking away? It was a smart Asian guy who went to Harvard and played basketball.
No, because of the NBA aspect. Not because of the right. No Harvard guys go to the NBA. That was the thing. Think about it. No Harvard guys going. That's what. Listen, because it's not really a shock that there's an Asian guy at Harvard. That's not the shock, right? There's an Asian guy in the NBA. There's a Harvard player in the NBA.
Okay, all right, moving on. Continue. I got 2 minutes. Go.
All right. So he had some dreads, right? And Kenyon Martin was an NBA player and put him on blast for that. To which Jeremy Lin came back and said, it's interesting. Notice your Chinese tattoos all over your body. Right? So it's the thing, man.
But again, sometimes it's just appreciation, not appropriation. There's a difference here too. You know what I'm saying?
There absolutely is a difference. And if there's an acknowledgement and appreciation and not,
but hold on, I'm not gonna walk around with a sign saying
using it for your own benefit.
Valid, that's different. But I'm saying I've got to justify every action now to the people who are conveniently woke and just got schooled to this fact and saying, hey, FYI, before you come at me, just so you know, I'm appreciating, not appropriating, not making any money off of this. Like, it's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, right? But more often than not, or maybe not more often than not, but so much commercially, it is strictly to make money off of someone else's thing like that.
Yeah, no, that's there, but I mean, not everything is done.
Bad marketing on Juve Rum. They should have promoted the celebrity of Michael B. Jordan along with the Trinity heritage of the partner as a company together.
Yeah,
they would have slid. It would have been perfect.
Yeah, right, I mean, hell, you got again. People keep forgetting. You got Clooney and his boy Casamigos making tequila all day long, right? It's called Casamigos. And it's what, 2 friends with a house in Mexico, so they name it Casamigos? Like
3 friends.
Okay, more things, right? But that's cool.
Yeah, but they kept their story real. Yeah, we flew down to Mexico all the time and loved it. I mean, the factory told them we can't produce this for you unless you make a company. So they were fully transparent with them, right? Not appropriate.
I agree.
All right. Justice over order, be better. Rate us on Apple, please, we need to spread the word. Check out at Smash Speaks again for a great interview. It's in our bios, also on Instagram for now. Puff's got to run.
All right, gotta go. Take it easy, everybody.
Later. Kaboom!
Broadcast is